flight schedules and inadequate communication. While the inquiry and necessary actions are underway, another meeting with Indigo's top management was held to review the stabilization measures. Today again, Indigo CEO Peter Elbes was summoned to the ministry to provide an update. He confirmed that 100% of the refunds for flights affected till 6 December have been completed. A strict instruction to expedite the completion of the remaining refunds and baggage handover was given. Payal Mehta now joins us with more. Where is the DGCA in all of this, Payal? The ministry is now directly taking control of the situation. Is there going to be action against the DGCA also?
Well, it's too early to say that right now because the probe is going to be the most important thing to watch out for. What really gave DGCA a feeling that Indigo could match up with what they were expecting? Why is it that the DGCA did not take any action until about the last minute? They did not monitor that Indigo hadn't recruited people. All that remains to be seen. But, first thing first, passenger interest is paramount. And that's exactly the reason a series of steps have really been taken. We reported earlier this afternoon, Anand, that the 5% curtailment would extend up to 10%. And here you are. The Civil Aviation Minister himself has announced that 10% curtailment will take place. Because the fact of the matter is that Indigo does not have the crew to fly people. If they had recruited 150 people, which they claimed in their meetings, then they had 200 additions. How do they justify that? Where is the numbers going to really add up from? In the winter schedule, Indigo was awarded a number of important routes in addition to what they were flying. But that now stands curtailed at 10% because given the calculation, the government is very, very sure that Indigo won't be able to recruit at such a rapid pace. And therefore, they do not want any such nonsense really happening, from here on. And they want, smooth operations. They want to make sure that even the other airlines who are asked to step in, Anand, they have enough time on their hands to match up for any shortages that are caused by Indigo. We saw what really happened. There was like a huge surge in the price of tickets, etc. that happened recently. In fact, in the last week as well. But now the airlines are better prepared, whether it's Air India, whether it's Akasa or otherwise. They are all expected to give in their schedules by tomorrow evening to the ministry so that better planning can take place because this is the winter vacation season. People travel for work, people travel for vacations. They do not want anything impacting the passengers at all. And like the Prime Minister has always been saying that this is a government which has promoted people to travel from Hawai Chappal to Hawai Jahaz. And they do not want to see any such nuisance being caused for no fault of the governments.
Right. Right. Thank you for that, Payal. We'll discuss the Indigo issue again through the latter half or the back half of this edition of The Right Stand. For the moment, shifting focus to the other big issue from Thirupurankuntram, Madurai, where the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court judge, Justice G.R. Swaminathan, is facing an impeachment move by the DMK.
Why he violated that? How can he do that? When a higher bench had ordered one thing, that is the final order. How can a single judge change that?
It is not supported, it is not correct. And even the MPs, because they are the member of parliament, they should understand the problem. And it is the biased attitude and activity of the DMK government. They are doing it. It is very unfortunate, I have to say.
It is the incompetence of M.K. Stalin and his government, which is trying to incite a religious divide in the state of Tamil Nadu.
MPs of the opposition Indi bloc moved an impeachment motion against the Madras High Court Judge Justice G.R. Swaminathan. Earlier in the day, Justice Swaminathan had asked the authorities of the Subramania Swami temple at the Thirupurankuntram hill in Madurai to ensure that a lamp is lit at the Deepastambam or Deepathoon pillar right at the top of the hill, which is not very far away from a dargah around that particular area. Now, the notice to impeach the Madurai judge was submitted by the India Bloc MPs. Conduct of Justice Swaminathan raises questions on impartiality, they said, transparency and secular functioning of the judiciary, favouring advocates from a particular community. Now, also deciding cases on basis of particular political ideology against the secular principles of Indian Constitution. That's the other allegation. Now, the Constitution, in the meantime, says on impeaching a judge, these are the conditions: proven misbehavior or incapacity. Articles 124/4 or 218 in the Constitution. Now, is this actually misbehavior? Is this already, does this depict incapacity? Justice Swaminathan delivered judgment upholding the right of believers and gave nod to light a Deepam atop the Thirupuran Kundram hill. Now, is the impeachment notice open intimidation? Is this, why is there a notice to impeach even after plea by the DMK government in the Supreme Court? Is this a tool to threaten the judiciary if the verdict is not in line with the mood of the state? Now, is this a sign of nervousness ahead of the Supreme Court verdict? Is this a sham show of unity by this entire India bloc that is already in tatters? Is it always appeasement above the rule of law for members of the opposition, especially the India bloc? These are questions that remain. Let's go straight across to someone who actually represented the petitioner in front of this justice and made the case. M.R. Venkatesh, lawyer for the petitioner, joins us, takes the right stand. My namaste, Vande Mataram, thank you for your time. This entire matter was presented in front of Justice Swaminathan. What's the background and what transpired?
This is a 102-year-old dispute in the least. In the sense, the last round somebody went to the court was in 1923 and got a judgment in the favor of the temple management. People may not know, in the northern part of the country, both Thirupurangunram Malai or the hill and the Annamalai hill, which is in Tiruvannamalai, both are regarded as Lord Shiva. The hill itself is circumambulated, we pray, we do all sorts of puja to the hill. Ramana Maharishi was in Tiruvannamalai, and here several siddhas are supposed to have lived. And this is also has a cave temple. There is a cave-like structure where people have gone in and they have created murti of several gods, of which Lord Muruga, Subramania Swami's idol, is worshipped there as one of the 6 holy temples of Muruga. Now, there is a dargah which has come up on top of the hill, somewhere we do not know. Some say 150 years, some say 450 years. We do not know exactly when, how, who and why it came up. But it is supposed to have got the remains, mortal remains of one saint Sikandar. Some say that this Malay itself is called Skandar, which is the name of Lord Muruga in Tamil. Skandar. And it has got corrupted as Sikandar by the Muslim invaders. Be that as it may, the matter goes to the civil court in Madurai 1923, and the judge very clearly says the entire hill is Lord Shiva. This is Thirupurangunram, which has a history of 4,000-year-old tradition. Several saints, several savants have sung here, recorded history is here. So this is a temple that belongs to Murugan, the hill belongs to the Hindus, but a small 50-cent portion be let off for the dargah. Because there is a possession, let it leave it at that, and he gives a quietus. Now, in 1996, somebody goes to the court and says, let me light the Karthigai Deepam, which falls on the Purnima of this month, and says in 1996, let me light it. The judge says, you have come too late. For this year, I am not allowing you. From the next year onwards, go and light it anywhere in the hill, but be 15 meters, 15 meters away from the dargah, so that you don't disturb the dargah.
Right.
And remember, 93, 94, 95, all these periods would have been in the immediate aftermath of the Babri issue. So he says, keep away from the for the dargah, and probably keeping the Babri incidents in mind, he says, put it 15 meters away. And this Deepatun, which is usually a pillar, rock-like pillar in all summits where you light the lamp, or in Karthigai Deepam, is also available here, and we wanted to do it. My client wanted to do it. and he sought the permission in 2025, somewhere in the month of September or early October. The temple administration refuses, and so he files a writ and comes before Justice G.R. Swaminathan. Justice G.R. Swaminathan, in all fairness, makes the Dargah a party, makes everybody a party.
So he
and a
included
question was put to the temple authorities. What is this structure? Name this structure, which is available in the hillock. They said it is a Deepatun, sir.
So they accept it's a Deepasthan.
an admission that it is Deepatun. Second, is it 15 meters away from the Dargah? Now, he himself physically went to the top of the hill and had a verification, and in his estimate it is more than 50 meters. In my estimation it is more than 70 meters. And so you can have this light lit. That was his order on 1st of December. All hell broke in Tamil Nadu after that. On 3rd, when we sensed at around 3 p.m. that the temple authorities were not going to light the lamp, our prayer was the temple authorities. My client did not want himself to go. It was only an alternative prayer. His primary prayer was, don't
the
say
temple
कि
authorities
बाबा
should light it.
दरगाह टूट गया, दरगाह में कांच टूट गया, ये हो गया है. So he says, let the temple authorities go and light the lamp. We saw that there was no activity on top of the hill. We saw that nobody was going there. There was no attempt. We rushed to the judge and said, Judge, this is what it is. Your orders are being flouted. Then at 5 p.m. he calls the government side and asks them what it is. They said, you have asked us to do it at 6. So you cannot order us anything at 5. So he says, okay, I will call you at 6:05. Come to my court at 6:05. Tell me what you have done. On 6:05, the government side tells we have not lit the lamp and we have no intention of lighting the lamp at that spot. Do what you want. They didn't say do what you want, but it was understood. So the judge says, I am instructing the petitioner himself to go along with 10 others to light the lamp, because my alternative prayer was allow me to do it, the petitioner's prayer. So he says, as an abundant caution, I'm also sending CISF from the High Court complex, a battalion of CISF people to accompany you, and they will help you to light the lamp. But as my client reached the temple complex, which may be around 10 kilometers away from the High Court complex, he found that 144, section 163 BNSS was imposed. Previously it is 144. And police was refusing to allow, and they said, we do not care for the judge's order and we are ready to face consequences. When my colleagues who were there in Madurai explained very patiently to the police officials, look, you are in contempt of the court. They said, we don't care, we are under instructions and we'll do what we want. So this matter blew out of proportion on 3rd evening. 4th morning, they went to the High Court division bench challenging this order, and that was set aside by 4:30 p.m. on 4/12/2025. Once again, we went to Justice G.R. Swaminathan's court at 6 p.m. and told him, my lord, see this, your orders were flouted. They went to the division bench. Division bench agrees with you and your sense of sending CISF personnel along with my petitioner to light the lamp. He once again says the petitioner will go today, because that day also the Paurnami continued.
Correct.
So he says, let the petitioner go and let you light the lamp. Once again, police stops us. Police refuses to do anything. And the matter is posted for the appeal before the division bench. Division bench has agreed to hear us on Friday. So on Friday, we will know what exactly transpires.
Right. But why this impeachment move?
Meanwhile, I hear at this point in time, just 15 minutes back, 109 MPs have filed a petition in the Lok Sabha asking for the impeachment of Honorable Justice G.R. Swaminathan. It is unfortunate that for the first time in independent India, you are impeaching a judge for giving a judgment. And this is a very sorry state of affairs. I think we are spiraling downwards. I hope better sense prevails and people withdraw the impeachment notice. The right way to take forward any dissent or differences in a judgment is to go on appeal, which they have done. And tomorrow, if the judgment in the High Court is in their favor, is in our favor, what are they going to do?
True. That judgment, the hearing is on Friday. They have said they'll move the Supreme Court. But then why have they taken this position when the HRNC department is supposed to protect the interests of Hindus and Hindu institutions?
I am appalled, and many of the legal luminaries in Tamil Nadu are flabbergasted to note that the first appeal was filed by the temple authorities saying that we will not lit the lamp. In fact, the temple authorities should have first come in and said, look, we are so grateful to the Lordship for giving us an opportunity to light the lamp at the summit. And believe me, this is not a Hindu-Muslim issue. The
Why do you say that?
Muslims have given in writing in 2005 and no objection to lighting of the lamp 15 meters away from the dargah, respecting the 1996 judgment of the Madras High Court. So this is not a Hindu-Muslim problem. It is, northerners may be bewildered, but the fact of the matter is this is not a Hindu-Muslim problem. This is a Hindu DMK government problem.
You are saying 2005 Muslims have given a written NOC that they don't have a problem if lamp is lit 15 meters away. Then why is the DMK government resisting, and why move against Justice Swaminathan, calling him an RSS judge, etc.?
The Hindu Munani will have a problem, or Hindu groups will have a problem, because they have to assert the right of the Hindus. If they don't assert, do you think Communist Party India Marxists will come and assert the right? Now, if for the labor class, the labor unions don't do it, who else will do it? Now, this is something as simple as that, and I don't find fault with the Hindu Munani for taking the cause. And look at it, the Uchi Pilliyar, as the name suggests, in roughly
DMK said that
translated
it's been lit
to
there.
English, is Summit Ganesha. But the Summit Ganesha is not in the summit. He is just 50 meters away from the temple in the ascendancy. He is just 50 meters, where the topmost point is around 500 meters. So he is 450 meters below. And they want to light it so that they are so scared of the dargah, and the Muslim people may be offended. Actually, the Muslim peoples are not offended. And it is a hallucination on part of the DMK government to believe that the Muslims are offended, and Muslim may be offended, and thereby they may not vote the DMK government, and hence are taking a very, very anti-Hindu stand. I think better sense should prevail on the DMK government. I hope that Lord Muruga will guide them, because the way that they are doing is going to be catastrophic for the Tamil Nadu social fabric.
Right. M.R. Venkatesh, thank you for speaking with us. Let's go across to our other panelists who are with us. Narayanan Tirupati of the BJP, Tamil Nadu BJP, Salem Dharanidharan, spokesperson of the DMK. Dr. Anand Ranganathan should join us any moment now, and Pulla Rao, political analyst. Namaste. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram. Thank you for your patience, but that was M.R. Venkatesh. Salem Dharanidharan, how do you want to respond? He says that the Muslims have given an NOC in 2005. The court came and measured the distance, and it is more than 15 meters. Then why is the DMK resisting and also moving to impeach Justice Swaminathan, who seems to have gone by the book on this? Your thoughts?
Good evening to you viewers, and pleasure to be on your show after a long time.
Yes, good to have you with us too. Thank you.
So the issue is not about Hindu, Muslim or religious, anything to do with religion. It is about one party trying to create religious disharmony. That is the matter here. I will also tell you, in para 7 of the judgment issued by the justice, he himself says that the Dargah side has given opposition. Again, the same justice on the para 40 says there is no opposition. So there is a contradiction therein within the judgment itself, where para 7 says there is strong opposition and the para 40 says there is no opposition. I will go back to the history. The history itself, it is for the last hundreds of years, the Deepam has been lit in Uchi Pilliyar temple, and this temple is a cave temple. So Uchi Pilliyar temple, there is also archaeological evidence to say that even before 1000 years, the Deepam was lit there. That is point number one. The point number two, why the police did not allow for a Deepam to be lit was because to prevent law and order issue from happening, because it was not the wish of the Hindus or the temple administration to go and light the Deepam there. It were some private individuals who were saying that they represent the Hindus. That's the question. Now, who are they to represent the Hindus? They claim they represent. But I am saying, even DMK, you may say it's an anti-Hindu party, it's not. DMK has done more for Hinduism than any other party has. This is a very important point to note. Just because we follow the constitution, which is secularism, right? That is to take care of everyone, even the minorities, even if they are maybe 100 in number or 1,000 in number or few lakhs in number, It is a job to also protect their rights. But here, for centuries, the Deepam has been lit in Uchi Pilayar land. So what is the issue there? Even Muslims have been coming there and joining the Deepam. So it's an example for the entire country or entire world where how religious harmony can coexist wonderfully well. Has there ever been any conflict? This has been the view of AIDMK also until Jayalalitha was there. Even now, the AIDMK view is contradicting. The Chief Minister, former Chief Minister Edapadi says, we stand with the BJP. The other senior leaders like Jayakumar, the former minister from Madurai, Sellu Raju says the 150-year-old practice should continue. We are not with the BJP on this. So within AIDMK itself, there's been contradiction on this. What are the people of Tamil Nadu saying? People of Tamil Nadu are saying, let it be lit in Uchi Pilayar temple itself. But then when it comes to impeachment, you have to decouple this. It is not just about this specific judgment. It is also about how the specific judge has behaved over the period of time. I am not against judicial activism. I am for judicial activism. If a judge will come and overturn a verdict for upliftment after 100 years, 120 years. But then we also have to look at judicial impartiality. Has the judge behaved partial in the past? For example, if a justice would continuously go and sit with events of opposition politicians such as BJP politician H. Raja and mock my party for its ideology, which he has done in the past. In fact, an High Court advocate also filed a petition against the same justice in front of the Chief Justice of India. For what reason? For only one reason, that he has said that mocked my former Chief Minister Kalaniar, mocked the ideology of the DMK repeatedly. Sitting in the bench, he has commented that non-Brahmins are not fit to be the priest. Right? I am not against any caste, any religion, but for someone as important as the position of justice, can he appear to be partial? It's a very important question. Can he appear to be biased against a specific religion or for a specific religion? Justice is supposed to exhibit impartiality. Right. A private person is entitled to his own views, but when a justice sitting in a bench is showing continuously favoring an ideology, continuously. Okay, if he's going and sitting in different events is fine, but only event of one ideology, and in the bench saying that he's or creating a suspicion that he favors one faith, then that is not good for democracy, not just in this country, anywhere in the world. A judge should be non-partisan. And which is why we have gone for impeachment motion, because he's being partial. Can a judge be partial? We have checks and balance in our constitution. Why do you have checks and balance? If judiciary is having overreach, the legislature will have to check. If legislators or executors overreach, judiciary will put it on check. So what is wrong with following the constitutional mandate given in the Articles 124 and 270? In fact, BJP has done it in 91 to 2014, for example, Soumitra Sen, Ramaswamy, P.D. Dinakar, and the reasons could be different. But then even we never seen a justice before going and sitting on party events and speaking the ideology that he likes. Sitting judge, have we seen it ever before?
Are you willing
no,
to yield
not before 2020.
I don't want to interrupt. See, everybody will put their points of view. I just want to say that if you believe that your position is secular, sir, then when there were other justices who were passing adverse comments on the Hindu faith, then the DMK should have taken umbrage, including the former Chief Justice and some other instances. So you've not colored yourself in impartiality there as a party. And if you had an issue with Justice Swaminathan, you should have moved before this judgment had come. The other thing is, Justice Swaminathan went down and physically measured based on the previous judgment of 1996, where they said as long as there is a distance of more than 15 meters, it should happen. And that judgment also has not been implemented by successive governments, DMK or otherwise. It has. There is that 96 judgment. The other thing is, sir, if Muslims are coming for the Deepam at Uchi Pilayar, and they are participating, then they should not have a problem with the Deepatun. And there should be no resistance about the Deepatun, because there is distance from the Dargah as mentioned in the past. So, there are some imbalances there, inconsistencies there. I'm leaving it out there. Let Narayanan Tirupati respond. You are deliberately politicizing this.
Can I quickly interject?
Allow me to just come back.
The 96 judgment
says
that the temple administration will decide where the Deepatun will be lit.
No, Deepatun is one place where the Deepam will be lit, the temple. That's my other submission, that many people believe that the HRNC department is supposed to work in the interest of the Hindu institution, because that's the only institution that they actually monitor and govern and control in Tamil Nadu. And they have failed to do that despite multiple court orders. They should have allowed the Hindus to peacefully go ahead and light the lamp there, and allowed only a handful. Had the temple authorities lit the lamp there, no problem would have happened. The first order of the court of Justice Swaminathan Swaminathan was not that the petitioner should go. It was asking the HRNC officials to go ahead and just light the lamp there. Now, had that been done on the first day itself, all of this would not, and nobody would have gone up also. Their HRNC department could themselves have done it. I'm just saying that was the final.
Lighting of Deepatun Uchi Pilayar has been happening even before HRNC was founded.
Let's not get into...
Even before the HRNC was founded 120
I understand,
years back.
but Uchi Pilayar is different, Deepatun is different. Deepatun is at the Shikharam at 450 meters higher than the Uchi Pilayar temple. I have been to Tirupurankuntram and we heard M.R. Venkatesh, so you would appreciate that. The point is, sir, that if you are going to respect sentiments and behave as a secular entity, I saw what happened at the Kanchi Kamakshi temple. There was refurbishment and renovation work that is being undertaken. I've gone ahead and physically seen, and I commend the DMK for undertaking that, elections or otherwise. But if you are going to say that you are impartial, then sir, you have to respect Hindu sentiment and ensure that Hindu faith is also upheld as much as any other faith is. And HRNC department could have gone ahead and just 2 members could have gone ahead and lit the lamp at the Deepatun and the matter would have ended there. That's my submission. Narayan and Tirupati deliberately trying to politicize this because the BJP has no other card except the Hindutva card. Please respond.
Who politicized this? The BJP never politicized it. Somebody went to the court, Mr. Rama Ravi Kumar. He is the petitioner. The judge has given the judgment. And the duty of the government, the police and the collector is to obey what the judge has said. You have violated entire law. Vinasakale Viparita Buddhi, that is what the DMK has done today on an impeachment motion against the particular judge. See, this is because when defeat comes, obviously they lose everything and they have lost their minds today and they have gone for an impeachment motion. That is what I feel. Number one, Anand, is that a disputed site? No. To whom this land, that place belongs to? It belongs to the temple. And the Seram Dharnidharan initially said, there is not a problem between Hindus and Muslims. Then he says the judge delivered a verdict against a particular community. How will it happen? When Dharnidharan says there is no problem between Muslims and Hindus, how this judgment will affect the Muslims? It is not possible. This is appeasement of minorities, what the DMK has done. And it is the eradication of Sanatan Dharma, as told by Udayanidhi Stalin. Sanatan Dharma means Hindu religion. They want to eradicate Hindu religion. That is what this DMK government is doing. And see, Anand, that was a very great question from the 2-judge bench the other day, which M.R. Venkatesh, of course, he did not have time. The 2-judge bench very clearly mentioned, when did you brought this 144 order in that place? That is after the judgment only. Okay, what is your problem? They say that the law and order problem will come if the lamp is lit there. Who will create a law and order problem? Is the one who goes and lit will create? No. Then DMK is thinking that someone or some group or some people will go against this and they will create law and order problem. Is it not the duty of the government to see to it that those group or a person or that organization to be controlled? And it is the duty of them. But whereas the police official says, the commissioner says, yes, we got this 144 only after the court verdict. What do you want to do? Do whatever you want. I will face the consequences. Now they are going to face the consequences. Very simple, Anand. It is our place. And as you rightly pointed out, the first day itself, they should have gone there and the entire problem is solved. DMK, and after all things, we against Mr. D.R. Swaminathan is Justice Party. The Chief Minister proudly says, this is the Nietzsche, that is the extended arm of Justice Party. It is an anti-Brahmin party just because Mr. D.R. Swaminathan is a Brahmin. That is what the DMK handles in social media also says. This party, DMK and its allies, very clearly, just because he is a Brahmin, he is targeting him. This is what is happening. And also they are targeting the Hindu sentiments.
See,
it's not true at all.
Okay. The DMK may respond and they may say that it is not based on the justice's caste. Now, if they had a problem with him being Brahmin in the past, he's passed many judgments and they could have moved impeachment motion against him at that time.
They were waiting for the opportunity.
My simple submission yet again is that Justice Swaminathan went physically to that particular place.
Yes.
He measured the place and he said it is more than 15 meters. The distance is more than 17 meters. The fact is that if you respect all faiths equally, then you would have respected the faith that and a pratha which is happening for thousands of years. Now, post 1992, Babri structure demolition, whatever was the situation and the issue, after the 1996 judgment, which said that next year onwards you can light it, then successive government should have allowed that. It has not been allowed. Now, to move against Justice Swaminathan, also Dr. Ranganathan and Pulla Raoji, just quickly, thank you for your patience, also reeks of a certain attitude which says, I can fix you.
Yeah.
But the fact is that if you are a democratically elected government and a government that wants to uphold the constitution, then you should not go about wanting to fix somebody. You should challenge that person's judgment in a higher court and get a verdict against. If the Supreme Court doesn't overrule, even before you move the court, you have decided to impeach this judge. So it somehow sends mixed signals. Agree, disagree. Dr. Ranganathan and then Pulla Rao.
Disagree. Anand, good evening, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Disagree because it does not send mixed signal. It sends just one signal, that we are dictatorial, authoritarian, and we will do as we please. Earlier, they wanted to eradicate Sanatana Dharma. Now they want to eradicate justice itself. The DMK government is not only criminal contempt of court, it is now flexing its power in wanting to impeach a judge whose considered judgment went against the nefarious designs of the government and exposed its rabid anti-Hindu communal bigotry. And the tragedy, Anand, is that while the same Supreme Court went out of its way recently to protect a High Court judge charged with corruption, here they are silent when a High Court judge is being virulently abused and harassed by a government. My respects to Justice Swaminathan for standing up to this brute harassment. Here are 5 reasons why Justice Swaminathan gave his judgment in favor of the Hindus wanting to light the Deepatun lamp. I deal only with facts, as you know. Number 1, historical ownership and legal precedent. The Deepatun is located in the unoccupied portion of the hill that has belonged to the Hindu temple since time immemorial, as confirmed by the 1920 Privy Council judgment, which held that only specific areas, the mosque summit and steps, belong to Muslims, while the rest, including the lower peak, is temple property. Number 2, cultural and religious tradition. Lighting lamps atop hills during the Tamil month of Karthigai is long-standing Tamil tradition, and the temple management has a duty to maintain and restore such customs as long as they do not breach constitutional morality. Number 3, no offense or impact on others. Lighting the lamp is a sacred act that cannot offend anyone's sensibilities, does not affect the rights of the nearby Dargah or Muslims, and is situated at least 50 meters away outside any Muslim occupied areas and beyond prescribed safety zone. Number 4, accession of property rights. Regular lighting of the lamp as dictated by courts at Deepatun serves to assert that protects the temple's title over property, preventing potential encroachments and ensuring the temple's rights are not jeopardized. 5, distinction from pyre dispute. Unlike previous court cases that dealt with lighting the hilltop mosque summit, which belongs to Muslims, this judgment pertains specifically to the Deepatun on the top peak, which is undisputed temple property. Now, finally, important 30 seconds. Is it an overruling of the 2017 judgment? No. Justice Swaminathan framed it as enforcing undisputed property rights via a non-intrusive ritual, distinguishing it from prior hilltop disputes. And besides, the 2017 judgment itself contradicted the 1996 judgment that said that temple management could light the Deepam at alternate places on the hill in the future, but only after ensuring the site was at least 15 meters away from Dargah boundary. In this case, it is 50 meters away.
Okay. Salem Dharnidharan wanted to say something. Yes, Salem.
See, firstly and foremost, I'll give a rebuttal also to the BJP spokesperson Narayan Tirupati. Firstly, DMK is not anti-Brahmin. If you remember, Periyar and Rajagopalachari were greatest friends. It only asks for social justice, and also my current Advocate General of the Tamil Nadu government is also a Brahmin. So DMK as a party is not against anyone from any caste or community. Okay, we seek justice. The question the Justice Party uses is, why should one job be occupied by one community? It was the only question that asked, but not against any individuals. It is about additional power that was given. That was only question.
But the moment you bring community, then you are erasing merit altogether, Salem. You agree, right? It should be on merit, not on based of your caste or your background.
No,
it should be
merit
based on merit.
as such is a very abstract and illusionary concept. No, then it comes information assembly, but that's a different debate.
Okay.
But then we never address one important question. That important question is, can a justice be partial? If he is partial by how? It could be of any
partial
caste,
how?
right, and religion,
Right.
But then or color. But if he is showing preference to someone of specific color, religion, caste, then he has to be. You can request him
who
to be
gets to
impeached.
decide that?
It's desirable.
No, that has to be decided only.
The people get to decide.
No,
the people. No, I'm coming there.
Here it
People
is a
will
political
decide
party. Right now, you have not
No,
moved the.
I'm coming there. It's
You
very
have not
interesting
moved the
question to
top
answer.
court.
The people will decide. People will decide. So who are people representing? Let us the parliament.
the government?
No.
That is why the impeachment in the parliament.
One second.
I
You've
think
not
we've
moved.
gotten it there.
You
Exactly my
did
point.
not.
Who will decide? The people of the
You
country
did
in a
not.
democracy.
No, sir. First up, you have to first take the
people
full
in a
legal
democracy will
recourse.
decide, sir.
The division
Parliament
bench.
is house
The
of the
division
people.
bench of the
So why
Madras
can't
High Court
people
did not
decide?
rule in your favor. That was a two-judge bench. They did not rule in your favor. You have not yet moved the Supreme Court, and you have not got a
have
ruling
moved the
there.
Supreme Court.
So you have to get a ruling from the Supreme Court. The matter is still posted in
But
front of the
it's not
Madras
only
High Court.
this matter, no, sir. I think in the beginning when I spoke, I made it
Correct. You
very
said
clear.
that. You said that you
decouple.
have past experiences, but that has not had a noting or a mention anywhere else. And right now, the move looks purely political and vindictive. That's my submission. Yes, Pullarauji, final word. I have
No, I
run.
think 10 seconds. I'll make the last point I wanted to
No,
make.
see, the main
And then-
thing,
Okay.
Narasimhan ji, is these are legacy
Sorry, he's
issues.
not spoken
We have-
at all. Allow him, please. Yes,
Okay, fine,
Pullarauji.
sure.
Thank you.
These are legacy issues. We have to be very careful in this vast country. We have heard a lot of nice opinions. We have heard our friend, the advocate, also spoke. Law is one thing. One thing I just want to remind you, our books, our laws have come from Paris. It's a Napoleonic code. A judge should be restrained, any judgment. Tomorrow another judge will get up and say this caste, that caste, and this reservation, that reservation. We need stability and sthirta in this society. You have to go slow. A judge should not be too activist. And I feel on legacy issues, whatever the right may be, you have to be very careful. You can't keep on raising these embers of fires, any issue. And I think very, very wise men in the Hindu society also have been saying that. You have to be very slow. The judge can't do this in this manner. He has to face
No,
this
in
now,
what
whether he
manner?
will go.
Be specific. Don't generalize. This
He
is
has
the
to
order.
face. There was
Be
no
specific.
need. There was
In what
no
manner?
need. There was no need to go into every legacy issue in this. Go
No,
slow.
what is
Let
there is no
society
need?
sort it out.
This is not the
Let
judge.
society
It is
sort
a
it out.
petitioner,
Let me
it's a
speak.
common man who has got
Mr.
this.
Tirupati,
No,
I didn't
one minute,
interrupt
one
you
minute,
when
one
you
minute,
spoke. You're a
let him complete.
respectable
Let
man.
him, let him complete.
You're a senior
Narayan
person.
Tirupati,
Let
let
us
him
hear it
complete.
out.
Let him
These
complete.
are
Where-
legacy issues.
where-
This country is besieged with so many legacy issues. A judge should be a
Coming to-
Napoleonic
coming to-
judge. They have to be restrained. I don't
You
care
want
about
to
the
say
merits,
that you don't
demerits
need
of the
justice?
case.
Anand, 5 seconds.
Okay.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
That is why I respect Pullarao, because we have a wonderful debate to and fro. I want to ask him a very simple question. He says society should sort out the legacy issue, not a judge. Was Ram Janam Bhoomi Babri Masjid a legacy issue? And did society sort it out, or did the Supreme Court sort
Yes.
it out?
Yes, it took the Supreme Court decades and
Okay,
decades
again,
and
no.
decades. Then
No,
society
your point is
accepted
your
it.
point-
Society
Sir.
accepted it.
Sir.
Society accepted it.
Sir, the judgment.
Did society sort it out, sir, or
The
did the
judgment-
judge sort
Yes,
it out?
No,
society
no.
accepted it.
See,
Society sorted
the
it
judge
out.
sorted
See,
it
if
out.
you can't convince, confuse and confound, Pullarauji is a past master at it. I'm just saying very clearly, these utterances did not come when there were judges who passed adverse comments or took political positions despite being in office. When 4 of them sat down on a dharna, when the parliament passed the National Judicial Accountability Bill, then what happens? And at that time, where was the DMK, and did it move to impeach those judges, or did it stand in support with them? So there can be questions that can be asked. My simple point is, sir, has the judge done the due diligence? Has he heard all of them? Did he go and measure it and then honor the 1996 judgment itself? Is there a note of NOC from the Muslim Paksh in 2005 already in place? Amidst all of that, who was going to cause law and order trouble? Who should be herded and policed? Those who threaten law and order trouble, or those who claim that I just need to light my lamp? You do it for me if you don't want me to do it, but at least do it for me if you're supposed to safeguard my interests. That was the humble submission that came first up. On day one, had this lamp been lit by 2 members of the HRNC, the matter would have been resolved there. I have to wind up right now. We will see how the courts decide, because the matter is being pursued legally also. Politically is another thing. I've run out of time. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you very much. Dr. Ranganathan, please stay on. We move to the other big issue. The Indigo crisis of early December is no longer just about delayed and cancelled flights. It's become a test case of how marquee board, a seasoned CEO and a dominant airline can all fail to anticipate a slow-moving storm that was visible nearly 2 years in advance. Now, the government has already begun crackdown. We've shown you the pictures. Let's go across to our guests, even as they have said that Indigo is going to curtail its operations by 10% now across the board. Dr. Ranganathan with us, M.R. Sivaraman, former DGCA with us, and Group Captain M.J. Vinod also with us. My namaste. Thank you for your time. Former DGCA Sivaramanji, is the action taken appropriate? And the other question is, where is the DGCA, the current DGCA in all of this?
Well, as far as the action is concerned, they had no other alternative but to take some action now when the crisis on hand. As far as DGCA is concerned, I think I already mentioned to you that according to Section 4 of the latest Indian Aircraft Act of 2024, he is the supreme authority as far as security and safety of passengers, etc. are concerned. Government does not have any power to issue any directions to him on this matter. Although government has got powers to issue directions on certain other matters, but not on security and safety of passengers, etc., etc. You can go through Section 4 of the Act, it's production of the earlier Section 5. Therefore, when this FDTL was announced in 2023 October, at that time itself, the DGCA had a responsibility to set up a monitoring group or a monitoring officer to check whether these airlines are following the FDTL which has been laid down. Irrespective of the fact the matter went to the court. The court would never decide any matter concerning the safety of passengers or safety of an aircraft for which the DGCA has been appointed as a statutory authority. Therefore, the DGCA on his part has probably failed to set up a monitoring group or a monitoring officer to ensure that his directive on the FDTL was properly being implemented on a timely manner. It all came to a head only in December or probably the end of November, when probably Indigo thought that they could get over it and they did not bother to implement it. So this has been a failure. I won't blame the government, because the government doesn't come into the picture at the stage when the FDTL has been issued by the DGCA. DGCA should. And as far as the Indigo board is concerned, I'm sure that the Indigo board is totally responsible in this matter because of the fact this is a major policy decision which may involve the airlines recruiting more pilots, training more pilots, or even having a proper rescheduling of their flights, which the board should have taken a decision. The board never took a decision. Now they say they are going to put some officers of the Indigo Airlines under the bus. This is not done. What can the poor officers do? You will just put them under the bus or throw them out of the jobs, which is not done. The major policy decision was that of the board of the Indigo company. And there are independent directors who are responsible for the stakeholders. And here the stakeholders are passengers. I think they have failed in this matter.
Right. I'm just going to check in that meeting and the pictures that have been put out by Rammohn Naidu. If Faiz Ahmed Kivdwai, who's the current DGCA, the IAS officer from Madhya Pradesh, if he's there in that meeting and if he's present, if this is happening in his presence. Because the other thing, Dr. Ranganathan, is that November, the second phase had come. There were 22 regulations, as Rammohn Naidu mentioned on the floor of the House. 15 came into force from July. The remaining 7 came into force in 1st of November. Also, each of these airlines, based on the sectors they were operating, the kind of aircraft they were operating, and the kind of schedules that they had come and requested for certain amount of leeway. In this case, this Indigo CEO standing with his hands folded, sitting with his hands folded today, whether he's saying namaste or he's saying sorry, I do not know. That is open to interpretation. But did they not know through the 1st of November? Did they think that they can perhaps blindside the government or bulldoze the government into submission and seek an extension until the first quarter of next year so that they don't have to incur additional costs of hiring, etc.?
There are only two possibilities here, Anand, and I speak as a layman because there are exalted experts on the panel that I can see. One, that the Indigo officers and officials were working in direct collusion with either the government or the DGCA. And number two, the Indigo officials were absolutely confident that the DGCA and the government would have absolutely no clue as to who, what, where, when should these laws that have come into force through a High Court directive should be followed. So they took their chances. Now, either of the two things could be correct, but here I want to say one thing. In science, when you do an experiment, you always run a control. It's called a control, either a positive control or a negative control. It tells you where you stand. Now, out here, yes, you can say Indigo was finding it difficult, wanted leeway, wanted extension because it felt the laws had come too soon. What's the control out here? The control is that a 10,000 crore loss-making airlines company followed the rules. Air India. The control is that a 2,500 crore loss-making company, Akasa Air, followed the rules. The control are these. What is the test? The test is that a 8,500 crore profit-making company, Indigo, did not follow the rule. On that evidence alone, the culpability is criminal. Now I want to come to the second point, which is more important. Out here, it is very clear, and as the ex-DGCA chairman has also alluded to, it's very clear that those who lit the fire are doing the firefighting. Now, that is unacceptable to me. What is also unacceptable to me is that when the rules were brought about, because clearly the safety of the passengers was being compromised earlier, hence the new rules. The moment you say that we are putting the rules in abeyance, you are in contempt of what you brought in. Now, who is liable for that? You can say, oh, well, we'll take our chances that till February, when we have given the extension, there will be no accidents. But supposing there is an accident, supposing the pilots don't get enough time away from flying and there is an accident that happens, God forbid, who will be responsible then? So you brought in a law to check the passenger safety and you yourself have violated the law. There are two criminal contempts that I can see right away, but I am a layman. I don't know. Please ask the professionals.
Group Captain MJ Vinod.
Anand, again, good to be on your channel on this particular topic, and I am not speaking for or representing Indigo or for that matter on this subject. Let's just look at logic. Scientists are sitting here. Let's just look at logic. Indigo's losses are far more than a few bad days of cancellation. By airline's own admission, it paid out 1,400 crores in refunds and disruption costs. Some analysts, especially the financial pundits, are saying 2,500 to 3,000 crore hit it is going to take in next year's earning alone. 3,700 crore Indigo's market value is wiped out. Okay, and compare that with the temporary FDTL reprieve to ease pilot rostering till February that it got. Now you tell me, Anand, tenu dikhari aisi karke, will someone spend 3,700 crores? I mean, we have to be practical in looking at this problem holistically instead of, towing the normal lines that, see, at the end of the day, passengers suffered. Like I said, even my own son, he got back in the morning on a train from Kolkata. He got stuck over there. But Tenu Dekariya si karke 37,000 crores, nobody is going to spend. Yes, something has gone wrong, which is the reason why with folded hands, the CEO said sorry. So, we are thinking that it was engineered. It is far cry, Anand. It is nobody in their same mind.
Was it supposed to be a small Sutli bomb, but it just blew up and burned the whole house down? That is another question. Let
us come to control.
That is another question which I will pass. That is another question.
So in the controlled condition, they do everything scientifically. Any money-making organization does everything scientifically.
Please, because you mentioned scientific advice, please permit me, if you don't mind. Now, this is akin to saying that, why would a hospital indulge in medical negligence, knowing that there is a chance that they would have to pay more than what is the cost for the operation itself? It's a specious argument, because the fact is medical negligence occurs knowingly.
Right.
Likewise, here the Indigo thought they would take their chances. As Anand, you say, it was a Sutli bomb. It blew up into a hydrogen bomb in their face. They weren't expecting.
Right. Okay, we'll park it there.
crores.
No, we'll park it there. Sir, the point is that nobody perhaps would have envisaged that it went out of hand. And was there somebody who thought that they could control it, but it didn't? We'll park it there. As of now, there are actions to curtail the operations and to control it. Sivaramanji, my apologies, we run out of time. We've actually got more commercials on the show this evening. So we've got to bail out earlier. So I have to say thank you, and we'll connect again soon. Thank you. Namaste.
This is News 18.
सैल्यूट है जी। आप देश की रक्षा में जान लगा देते हैं और आप घर घर में तार लगाते हैं जी। ई बीम टेक्नोलॉजी से बनी, न जले न पिघले, सबकी रक्षा करे।
हम सरहद पर लोगों की रक्षा करते हैं और आप देश के अंदर। सैल्यूट तो।
Stay ahead with News 18. News from your city in your language. Real-time updates, in-depth analysis, and breaking news. Anytime, anywhere. Only on the News 18 app. Scan and download the News 18 app now.
Meeting with the Indigo CEO, and the ministry has further added that it considers it necessary to curtail the overall Indigo routes, which help in stabilizing the airline's operations and lead to reduced cancellations. And this curtailment during the day was announced at 5%, has been further revised upward to 10%. Now, while abiding with it, Indigo will continue to cover all its destinations as before. Now, he's also further added, saying during the last week, many passengers faced severe inconvenience due to Indigo's internal mismanagement of crew rosters, flight schedules and inadequate communication. While the inquiry and necessary actions are underway, another meeting with Indigo's top management was held to review the stabilization measures. Today again, Indigo CEO Peter Elbes was summoned to the ministry to provide an update. He confirmed that 100% of the refunds for flights affected till 6 December have been completed. A strict instruction to expedite the completion of the remaining refunds and baggage handover was given. Payal Mehta now joins us with more. Where is the DGCA in all of this, Payal? The ministry is now directly taking control of the situation. Is there going to be action against the DGCA also?
Well, it's too early to say that right now because the probe is going to be the most important thing to watch out for. What really gave DGCA a feeling that Indigo could match up with what they were expecting? Why is it that the DGCA did not take any action until about the last minute? They did not monitor that Indigo hadn't recruited people. All that remains to be seen. But, first thing first, passenger interest is paramount, and that's exactly the reason a series of steps have really been taken. We reported earlier this afternoon, Anand, that the 5% curtailment would extend up to 10%, and here you are. The Civil Aviation Minister himself has announced that 10% curtailment will take place because the fact of the matter is that Indigo does not have the crew to fly people. If they had recruited 150 people, which they claimed in their meetings, then they had 200 additional. So how do they justify that? Where is the numbers going to really add up from? In the winter schedule, Indigo was awarded a number of important routes in addition to what they were flying, but that now stands curtailed at 10% because given the calculation, the government is very...
Meeting with the Indigo CEO, and the ministry has further added that it considers it necessary to curtail the overall Indigo routes, which help in stabilizing the airline's operations and lead to reduced cancellations. And this curtailment during the day was announced at 5%, has been further revised upward to 10%. Now, while abiding with it, Indigo will continue to cover all its destinations as before. Now, he's also further added, saying during the last week, many passengers faced severe inconvenience due to Indigo's internal mismanagement of crew rosters, flight schedules and inadequate communication. While the inquiry and necessary actions are underway, another meeting with Indigo's top management was held to review the stabilization measures. Today again, Indigo CEO Peter Elbes was summoned to the ministry to provide an update. He confirmed that 100% of the refunds for flights affected till 6 December have been completed. A strict instruction to expedite the completion of the remaining refunds and baggage handover was given. Payal Mehta now joins us with more. Where is the DGCA in all of this, Payal? The ministry is now directly taking control of the situation. Is there going to be action against the DGCA also?
Well, it's too early to say that right now because the probe is going to be the most important thing to watch out for. What really give DGCA a feeling that Indigo could match up with what they were expecting? Why is it that the DGCA did not take any action until about the last minute? They did not monitor that Indigo hadn't recruited people. All that remains to be seen. But first thing first, passenger interest is paramount, and that's exactly the reason a series of steps have really been taken. We reported earlier this afternoon, Anand, that the 5% curtailment would extend up to 10%, and here you are. The Civil Aviation Minister himself has announced that 10% curtailment will take place because the fact of the matter is that Indigo does not have the crew to fly people. If they had recruited 150 people, which they claimed in their meetings, then they had 200 additions. So how do they justify that? Where is the numbers going to really add up from? In the winter schedule, Indigo was awarded a number of important routes in addition to what they were flying, but that now stands curtailed at 10% because given the calculation, the government is very, very sure that Indigo won't be able to recruit at such a rapid pace, and therefore they do not want any such nonsense really happening, from here on. And they want, smooth operations. They want to make sure that even the other airlines who are asked to step in, Anand, they have enough time on their hands to match up for any shortages that are caused by Indigo. We saw what really happened. There was like a huge surge in the price of tickets, etc., that happened recently. In fact, in the last week as well. But now the airlines are better prepared, whether it's Air India, whether it's Akasa or otherwise. They are all expected to give in their schedules by tomorrow evening to the ministry so that better planning can take place because this is the winter vacation season. People travel for work, people travel for vacations. They do not want anything impacting the passengers at all. And like the Prime Minister has always been saying that this is the government which has promoted people to travel from Hawai Chappal to Hawai Jahaz, and they do not want to see any such nuisance being caused for no fault of the government's.
Right. Meeting with the Indigo CEO, and the ministry has further added that it considers it necessary to curtail the overall Indigo routes, which help in stabilizing the airline's operations and lead to reduced cancellations. And this curtailment during the day was announced at 5%, has been further revised upward to 10%. Now, while abiding with it, Indigo will continue to cover all its destinations as before. Now, he's also further added, saying during the last week, many passengers face severe inconvenience due to Indigo's internal mismanagement of crew rosters, flight schedules and inadequate communication. While the inquiry and necessary actions are underway, another meeting with Indigo's top management was held to review the stabilization measures. Today again, Indigo CEO Peter Elbes was summoned to the ministry to provide an update. He confirmed that 100% of the refunds for flights affected till 6 December have been completed. A strict instruction to expedite the completion of the remaining refunds and baggage handover was given. Payal Mehta now joins us with more. Where is the DGCA in all of this, Payal? The ministry is now directly taking control of the situation. Is there going to be action against the DGCA also?
Well, it's too early to say that right now because the probe is going to be the most important thing to watch out for. What really give DGCA a feeling that Indigo could match up with what they were expecting? Why is it that the DGCA did not take any action until about the last minute? They did not monitor that Indigo hadn't recruited people. All that remains to be seen. But first thing first, passenger interest is paramount, and that's exactly the reason a series of steps have really been taken. We reported earlier this afternoon, Anand, that the 5% curtailment would extend up to 10%, and here you are. The Civil Aviation Minister himself has announced that 10% curtailment will take place because the fact of the matter is that Indigo does not have the crew to fly people. If they had recruited 150 people, which they claimed in their meetings, then they had 200 additions. So how do they justify that?
Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zakir Jacob. The Luthra brothers, Saurav and Gaurav Luthra, the owners of the Romeo Lane nightclub in Goa, where there was a massive fire and 25 people died, they have fled to Phuket in Thailand. They were so prompt that within a couple of hours of this fire, they had already checked in at the Delhi airport to fly out by a 5:30 a.m. Indigo flight to Phuket in Thailand. A lookout circular and now a blue collar notice has also been issued against both these brothers, but they are far away from Indian law. They are probably right now holidaying in a resort in Phuket. Now the law will have to go through the grinding process of appealing through a court, the court examining their documents, the documents then being put forth before the Thai authorities, if at all they are still in Thailand or they've fled from there to someplace else. Now, in the meanwhile, there are 25 families who are grieving. 20 out of those 25 families happen to be those of the employees of this nightclub run by these two brothers. The question is, they clearly had no intention of surrendering themselves, no intention of facing up to the law of the land, to facing up to justice for the 25 people who died. Now it's the job of the law to catch up with the Luthras. Will it do so? That's what we will try and explore. But I just want to bring you up to speed with a map here on our big video wall to try and make sense of just how quickly the Luthra brothers just made good. Remember the accident itself at the Romeo Lane nightclub of theirs? It happened a little post midnight. It's around 12 o'clock. This was Saturday night, Sunday morning. It happened at the Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub in Arpora village in northern Goa. This was, like I said, just a little past midnight. Within 2 hours, at about 2:30 a.m., the owners, the Luthra brothers, Gaurav and Saurav Luthra, they're already at the Delhi airport, which means somebody has already alerted them. Word has got around. They know that a case is coming up against them. The FIR has not been registered by 2:30 a.m. Not even the fires have been fully put out by 2:30 a.m. And these two accused persons are already at the Delhi airport within just a couple of hours. And then they board at 5:30 a.m.